Okay. Good afternoon, class. Okay. So, nag-enjoy ba kayo sa experiment kahapon? Napagod na. Okay lang yun. Learning. Okay. So, from last time, last lecture, tagal pala nung last lecture natin, no? Last lecture natin nung bago mag-25. And from that lecture, anong ginawa natin? We revisited yung mga voltage and current laws natin and how we use them to solve circuits. Okay. And napansin nyo no, na ang effort kasi KVL, ang daming loops, minimum of 2 loops kapag complex yung circuits, KCL, dami ding nodes, natitingnan mo yung mga current going in, current going out. And pagod tayo in life. Ayun, ang hirap nung ang daming sinasolve. So, just like sa 130, yung sa mga students ko, di ba? In-explain ko sa inyo na kada lesson dapat dumadali dapat yung mga ginagawa. So, yung una, electric field, di ba? Tapos naging Gauss's law, mas madali. Then, electric potential, mas madali. So, ganun din dito. Gahanap tayo ng mga mas madadaling paraan para ma-solve yung mga equations as circuits natin. Okay. So may mga scientific calculator, it would be nice to have them para mas madali yung pagsasolve nyo. Aware ba kayo na pwede kayong mag-solve ng ng systems of linear equations sa scientific calculator? So kung hindi kayo aware, try nyo siya. Ma-solve nyo yung mga equations without actually nililipat-lipat nyo. So yung chapter chapter 3 na tayo sa libro, no? Oops, mali. Tama pala. Okay. So yan, ang pag-aaralan natin ngayon ay mga network theorems. Basically, they are techniques to make life easier. Okay? So, start natin yung node voltage. Okay. So, yung node voltage is the potential difference between the given node and some reference node. Okay? And usually, ginagawa mong reference node is the ground. Kasi yung ground ay zero potential. Therefore, potential difference between the node, given node, sige, drawing tayo ng circuit. So, ito ay, yung pag may nakita kang symbol na ganyan, yan ay ground. Ang potential dyan, zero agad. Okay? So, when you have that, tapos ito kunwari, 5 volts ito. Tapos meron ka dito nodes, may nodes ka rin dito, may nodes ka rin dito, may nodes ka rin dito. Pangalanan natin silang A, B, C, D. Okay? So, ano yung node voltage sa A? VA. Ito ay 5 minus 0. Okay, kasi ang reference ko would be the ground, which is 0 yung potential. Okay? Okay, so 5 minus 0. Dali, di ba? VC, 0 minus 0. Okay, understandable kasi tignan mo, nakakabit yung wire dun sa ground. So, wire lang yun, walang pagbabago. Walang pagbabago. So, dapat 0 pa rin yung voltage na nandyan. Diba? Kasi sabi nga natin sa wire, 0 potential difference. So, dapat pare-parehas yung potential mo dito. Therefore, VD is 0 minus 0 pa rin, 0. Okay? And ang di lang natin alam would be VB. Okay. And then, makikita nyo, pag sinolve nyo to, tapos na kayo sa buhay nyo. Mas madali, di ba? Wala na kayo susulat ng mga equation. Well, syempre, pag mas mahirap yung circuit, marami talaga equation, wala kayong magagawa. Okay? So, try natin. Syempre, mas madali pag may example. Okay. So, sinolve natin to last time. So-solve ulit natin siya. Okay. So, nagbigay siya ng symbol for the node voltage. So, EA tsaka EB. Okay. EA, alam agad natin. Kasi EA is 2 volts. Sub A pala. 2 volts minus 0. Okay? Kasi katabi niya yung 2 volts, di ba? So, dapat 2 volts din to. Tapos 0 to. Ang di lang natin alam is EB. Okay? Okay. Ano yung formula natin? V is equal to IR. Then, it would be nice to know I is V over R. Okay? Always remember that V over R siya. Then, if you would apply KCL on this part, on this node B, you'd see that, okay. So, magde-denote ako ng current na pag ganito. Okay. Ito, dapat pag ganito to dito. Then, pag ganun na lang doon. Okay? So, following those directions, you'd see that EA minus EB, that is a potential difference, right? Over 1 ohms is the current there. Kuha, EA minus EB divided by 1 ohms. 1 ohm is the current there. Okay? And lahat ng incoming pagsasamahin ko on the left side, so meron pa akong plus 1 ampere. Here, then, at the right-hand side, yung lumalabas. Okay, so EB minus 0. EB minus 0 divided by 1 ohm. Okay, so divided by 1 kasi 1 lang yung resistor niya. Okay, sinusundan lang natin to, no? Sinusundan lang natin yung V over R. Wala tayong ginagawang bago. So, V ito, V yan, tapos 1 ohm yung mga nasa ilalim. Ito current talaga kasi may current source tayo dun sa kaliwa, ay sa kanan. Okay? So, nothing new. Then, simplify lang natin. This would turn out to be, alam natin EA na 2 volts. So, 2 minus EB plus 1 is EB. Then, solve for EB. Okay, mental. 3 over 2. Tama ba? 3 over 2, di ba? So, EB is 1.5 volts. Okay? So, anong silbi nun? Makuha mo na lahat ng ibang bagay-bagay. Okay. Ano yung current na to? Yung current IAB is simply 2 minus 1.5 volts. Ito yung EA. Ito yung EA. Ito yung EB. Okay. Divided by 1. So that is 0.5 amperes. Dali, di ba? Okay, yung current sa BC would simply be, ano na solve natin? 1.5 minus 0 divided by 1. Therefore, that's 1.5 amperes. Okay? Okay. Ay, yung potential sa VAB. Hindi natin na ano. VAB, EA minus EB. So that's 2 minus 1.5, 0.5 volts. Okay? So, nasolve mo na lahat. Tapos, ano siya, less messy. Di ba? Wala kang equations na hindi mo kailangan. Simplify mo yung mga extra effort from the KVL and KCL. Ang ginamit lang natin, KCL lang. Tapos na. Okay? Okay. Para siyang hocus-pocus lang, pero yes, legit to, legit to. Okay, let's try a more complicated example. Siyempre, ito problematic na. So, ito ay mga elements lang. So, wala silang, hindi sila resistor. Hindi sila source. Basta element sila. Okay, and then, in-specify here yung mga potential differences na nararamdaman ng mga elements. And we are tasked to find the node voltages in nodes C and node B. Siyempre, pag nakita mo ito, papanik ka agad. Hindi mo alam gagawin mo, di ba? Pero, it's nice to look at, hanapin mo agad yung ground kasi doon ka magbabase ng mga values. Okay? Ground is 0 agad dito. So, 0 volts yan. That implies that alam mo na yung ibang values agad. Okay? VF minus VG must be equal to 1 volt. Okay? Tinitignan ko tong linyang to. Sabi niya, may nararamdaman daw siyang 1 volt potential difference here. So therefore, yung VF minus VG must be 1. But I know VG to be 0. So that means VF is automatically 1. Okay? And then, from that, I can tatalon agad ako sa VC. Kasi, alam naman natin na yung potential difference between C and F is given, which is negative 2. Okay, so VC minus VF must be equal to negative 2. But I know VF agad. So, VC minus 1 must be equal to negative 2. And that tells me that VC must be negative 1. Okay? Okay. From this, pwede ko na agad malaman si B. Okay, pero ano tayo, baka medyo praning ako, no? Gamitin ko pa rin si ground. Pupunta pa, akit pa rin akong ganun. Para sure lang. Mamaya, mali pala sagot ko, di ba? Pero pwede, tingnan natin kung mag-check out, di ba? Okay, so sa VE, so VE minus VG, VE minus VG must be 2 volts daw. 2. Tapos, I know this to be 0 kasi ground siya. Therefore, VE must be equal to 2. Okay, so 2 volts na raw to agad. And then, doon ako gagamit ng B. So, VB minus VE must be equal to 1 volts lang daw yung potential difference nila. And VE must be 2. So, VB is negative by positive 3. Okay? Does it check out ba? Does it check out? So, VB minus VC. VB minus VC must be equal something na given doon. Pero try muna natin i-calculate itong alam natin. So, 3. Plug in ko lang. 3 minus minus 1. 3 minus minus 1 must be equal something. And this is 4. Is it 4 volts there? Oh, nice. 4 volts yung nandun. Okay. So actually, pwede ka na mag-straight, no? Mula VC. Lagay mo na agad, VB minus VC must be equal to 4. And plug in mo yung negative 1 there, makukuha mo na 3 yung lalabas. Okay? Pero syempre, yan tayo, praning tayo, doon tayo sa safe way. Okay? Pero kung ano kayo, happy ano kayo, you trust the theory, then go. Walang pipigil sa inyo. Okay, so yung ginagawa natin, tinatawag doon node analysis or node method. Okay? So, sa libro nyo, meron siyang 5 steps in doing the node analysis or the node method. Pero, ayun ay, parang binibaby niya kayo na, okay, gagawin niyo to, gagawin niyo yan. Pero in essence, ito yung kailangan niyo gawin. Hanapin niyo lang yung KCL in terms of node voltages. Okay? Okay. Ayan. Hanap tayo ng mas mahirap na mga example. Okay. Pahanap daw sa atin yung current I through the 5 ohm resistor. So here, ito yung ito yung pinapahanap sa akin. No, bother talaga ako sa notation niya. Ano ba yung E? Ba't ano? Saan ba lang galing yung E? Pwede naman yung ginagamit natin kanina, mas madali, mas intuitive. Okay. So, paano ba to? First, mag-denote ako ng current ko. Ano ba yung trip natin current ko? Pa ganun. And then, pa ganun. Ito, definitely pababa. Kaliwa. Ba na lang. Okay, so kayong bahala kung paano kayo mag-denote ng current. No? Kahit balik-balik ta rin nyo yan, okay lang. Ganun pa rin makukuha nyo. Kahit balik ta rin mo nga to, okay lang eh. Makukuha mo negative 1. Okay, so okay matakot mag-explore ng mga direction ng current. Kung ano intuitive sa inyo, yun yung gawin nyo. Okay, so magki-KCL ako sa dalawang nodes, 3 and 4. Dahil ayun yung sa tingin kong pinaka-useful. Okay, kasi pag nag-KCL ka dito, walang sense, di ba? Tsaka dito. Wala kayong makapulot masyado. So, yung sa mga maraming nakakonect, dun kayo mag-KCL. Okay, so node number 3, sulat natin. Node number 3. Node number 3, lahat ng incoming, lalagay ko sa kaliwa. So, that's 1 volt. 1 minus E1 over 3 ohms must be equal to 2 amperes. Okay, kasi may source ako dun. Hindi ko siya pwede i-defy. And then, E1 minus E2 over 2 ohms. Ito yung naka-arch sa taas. So, that's plus E1 minus E2 over 2 ohms. Then, 3 minus 0. Kasi ground ito. Divided by 4. E1 minus 0. 0 over 4. 3 minus 0 yung sabi ko. Okay, anyway, E1 minus 0. That's divided by 4. So that's your voltage there. Ay, current there. Okay? Okay, so, yan. Okay, simplify ko lang to further. I can multiply 12 to all para lang matanggal yung mga fractions. So, I'm left with 4 minus 4 E1 24 plus 6 E1 minus 6 E2. Itanong. Sir, paano po namin malalaman kung E1 minus E2 or E2 minus E1 yung gagamitin? Paano po malalaman na tama yung sign na makukuha namin? Nag-denote kasi ako ng current na E1 to E2. Okay? So therefore, ang subtraction na gagawin ko is E1 minus E2. To denote that the E1, the current is going from E1 to E2. Okay, kung dinenote mo na pabaliktad yung current, that will be okay. E2 minus E1 gagamitin mo. Ganun pa rin. Ganun, okay lang. Ganun pa rin makukuha mo. Tapos ililipat mo nga lang siya sa kabilang side. Kasi incoming na siya pag binaliktad mo dito, di ba? Okay, so basically, kapag mayroon kang mayroon kang element, okay, plus, minus. So pag nag-measure ka ng from plus to negative, nag-assume ka ng current na kaganon. Okay? So, yung potential difference would be V plus minus V minus. Then, ina-assume mo na agad na yung current ay papuntang positive to negative terminal. Okay? So, going back, nag-multiply ako ng 12, di ba? So, that's 3E1. Then, this is simply, pangit naman. 0. 24 minus 4, that's 20. Tapos, 13. Tapos, 6, 8. Okay. So, ayan yung simplified doon na lang. Para lang magamit natin agad sa calculator. Okay. Then, next would be applying it to node 4. Yung KCL mo. Divided. Node 4. Node 4. Okay. Sa node 4, meron akong tatlong incoming. Then, isang outgoing. Okay. So, I'm gonna write that down. Yung source na incoming 2. Tapos, another source na incoming 1. 1. Then, yung E1 minus E2 divided by 2. Tapos, lastly would be I. I could plug in I here, pero that would, I think that would complicate things. So, E2 minus 0 divided by 5. E2 minus 0 divided by 5. Okay? So, I multiply 10 to cancel the fractions. So, 10 times this, 30 plus 5E1 minus 5E2 times 2E2. Okay, and then this turns out to be this guy. Negative 7. E2. Okay, 0. Then you can plug this into your calculator. Meron dyan gagamit kayo ng simultaneous linear equations. Hanapin nyo yung ax plus by plus c equals 0 or something sa calculator nyo. Okay, and then if you do that, actually parang ganito minsan yung form nila. by plus c. So, tatype nyo sa calculator nyo na para makikita nyo sa calculator nyo ganito. Parang may mga blanks na i-fill in kayo. Okay? So, ganyan sa calculator nyo yan. Plug in nyo lang, pili lang kayo ng kung ano yung x mo, ano yung y mo. So, piliin mo si x na E1, tapos piliin mo si E2 ng y. Therefore, plug in ko lang to 5, negative 7, tapos negative 30. Okay, ganito sa calculator ko eh. Minsan kasi nasa kabila, tapos equal to 0 lahat. Okay, so, tingnan nyo na lang. Tapos sa kabila, negative 20, tapos 13, negative 6. 13, negative 6, tapos negative 20. Tapos solve, equals nyo lang. Lalabas na yung x, lalabas na yung y. And it turns out that E1, okay. So yan, find smart ways to solve things. Hindi naman kayo limited na hindi gumamit ng calculator. So pwede kayong gumamit ng calculator. Okay? Okay, so avoid nyo yung human error na kayo pa mismo magsasolve nito when there are computers naman na. Okay, so ang mangyayari ay E1 mo would be 0.655 and then E2 would be 4.75. Okay, so you do that on your own time. Ngayon yung lalabas. Okay, so hindi pa tayo tapos. Ang kailangan natin mahanap ay si I daw. So I is just E2 divided by 5. Diba? I is just E2 minus 0 divided by 5. And that is 4.75. 4.7. Yes. 75 divided by 5. It's approximately 0.95. Okay? Approximately that. Okay. So yeah, that is your solution for that for that circuit. Okay, let's try another one. Okay. So ngayon meron tayong dalawang source, 5 and 6. Okay, so gagawa ako ng node dito tsaka dito, which is very easy kasi ito ay 5 agad, ito ay 6 agad. Okay? Kasi 5 tapos minus mo sa ground, 0. 5 agad yun. Okay. Tapos 6 minus 0, 6. Diba? Tapos pinapahanap sa atin yung V0. Therefore, I could do KCL. So, madali yung KCL dito kasi the one that is going in must come out. And isa lang yung linya. Therefore, I could say that assume ako ng clockwise na motion ng current. Okay, so 5 minus V naught divided by 1. Then V naught minus 6 divided by 1. K. 1K. But, pag nag-multiply ka naman dito, cancel lang yung 1K, so walang effect. pero pag nagsasolve kayo ng current, no? Baka magkamali kayo. So, be careful. Safe lang siya gawin dito kasi cancel out lang siya. Okay, so mental 11 over 2. So this is 5.5 volts. Okay, tandaan 5.5 volts. Okay. Wala akong boses. Hindi ba nangyayari? Okay. Sige. Ngayon lang naman tanong sa atin, di ba? Hindi naman pinapakuha yung current. Okay, doon pinapakuha yung current. So, no need mag-solve ng current. Okay. Now, meron tayong problem kapag yung sources mo floating siya. Ano ibig sabihin ng floating? Not connected to the ground. Okay? Ang mga example natin kanina, yung puwet nung sources mo, nakakabit siya sa ground. Kaya madali. Di ba? Automatic 5 to 0 agad to. Kapag floating siya, you can't do that anymore. You can't assume na 5 agad to. Okay? Kasi nakuha lang naman natin tong 5 na to from looking at this wire na 0 siya. So therefore, kung may 5 volt na potential difference here, that automatically 5 ito. However, kapag floating yung sources mo, hindi siya nakakonect sa ground, tulad nito, okay. Hassle, no? Nandun yung ground. Parang ewan. Nandun yung ground. So, hindi mo siya magagawa ng ganun. So, may tinatawag yung author natin na super node. Basically, treat this as one node. Okay? Pero in essence, ganun pa rin yung gagawin mo eh. Walang pagbabago. Okay? Alam mo lang na alam mo lang na by looking at the configuration, alam mo na pag tinawag mo to na node E, yung node voltage niya ay E. Therefore, pag dumaloy siya dito, mag-i-increase siya ng ng V na voltage. Okay? So E plus V dapat dito. Okay? So wala namang bago, 'di ba? So therefore, let's try to do the node analysis here. Ang gagawin mo muna, maglalagay ka muna ng Maglalagay ka muna ng directions ng current. Intuitively sa akin pag ganito siya. Okay? So therefore, pag ganito dito. And anong voltage sa node 2? Kazumi, anong node voltage sa 2?
Sa node 2 po. Yung I po ba yan?
Node 2. Anong voltage? Voltage lang.
E. Wala po ba mark yung ano niya?
Wala. Okay, ano yung mga dapat na alam natin ano yung voltage pag ground?
0 po.
Okay, ano to? So dito sa node 2, anong niya? Voltage dito?
0.
Okay, tama, 0. Yes. Okay, so first thing you do, hanapin mo agad yung ground. Tapos lahat ng nakadikit na wire sa kanya, 0 yung voltage doon. Okay? So here, 0 yan. Lahat, 0 yung voltage dyan. Okay, thank you. So may bonus ka. Sulat ko lang. Okay, so 0 agad tong node 2. Therefore, what I can do is KCL ako kay node 3. Okay? So KCL at node 3 gives me, so meron dalawang incoming. Is 1, 2, dalawang incoming, isang outgoing. Okay, so on my left side, 0 minus E. Okay, so ito muna yung kinukuha ko, pag ganun. 0 minus E over R2 plus, syempre yung current dito, same lang sa current dito, same lang sa current dito. Dito. Therefore, kunin ko na lang yung nandito sa taas. So, 0 minus E plus V. 0 minus E plus V divided by R1 must be equal to the outgoing, which is yung source mo. So, that's I. Okay, simplify lang natin. Tanggalin natin yung mga extra negative signs. This would give me E over R2 plus E plus V R1 plus I, 0. Okay? So, multiply ako negative, naging negative si I, nilipat ko, naging positive ulit. Then, I solve for E. Then, you're done. Diba? So, multiply mo lang siya ng R1 and R2. Ito yung problema na pag may mga variables na. Hindi yung pwede calculator. So, mano-mano ka ngayon. 0. Okay? And then, mental E must be equal to minus VR2 plus R1, R2 all over R1 plus R2. Okay? So, kasi si E meron siyang R1 and R2, lilipat mo lang iba sa kabila, tapos di-divide mo by R1 and R2. Okay? So, ito yung sagot. Okay, that's nice. Nice to know. So, wag magpanik kapag merong gantong voltage, kapag merong gantong source na walang nakadikit na ground sa puwet niya. Okay, so again, hanapin mo lang muna kung nasan yung mga ground mo kasi that would help you very much. Now, let's try dependent sources. Last time, we didn't do dependent sources. So, ngayon magta-try tayo. Wala namang difference, wala namang bago. Pero may questions galing sa chat. Sir, paano po ulit nangyari dun sa E plus V over R1? Dito ba? Dito? Basically, kinuha ko yung current dito. Kasi alam ko na yung current dito, dadaloy siya pa dito, dadaloy siya pa dito. Okay, so at node 3, incoming siya. Ito siya. So, ito ay 0. So, yung current dito would be potential over resistance. 0 minus E plus V. Ito yung E plus V eh. Ayun ba yung tanong mo? Sorry. Okay. Okay na. Baka hindi ko kasi nagigets yung tanong. Okay. Let's try dependent sources. Okay, meron daw tayong dependent source na I/O na function of X. Tapos meron dalawang cases. So, dalawang problem yung pinapasolve niya. Yung case mo daw for una, yung X mo is a voltage. So, therefore, parang ewan, hindi na lang diniretso. Function of voltage siya. Okay? So, ito ay function ng voltage. Tama naman, di ba? Tapos GM ay constant lang. Second case daw, X is current I. So, therefore, ang pangit naman. Ba't yung malaki na sa ibaba? Okay, ganito. Baguhin natin. Ewan. Okay, so ito yung pangalawang case. Okay, so dalawang problem lang naman. Try natin sa una. Ito yung circuit. Para naman magets natin. Okay. So itong source mo dito is a dependent source. Kapag diamond yung shape niya, dependent source yan. Nakabase siya, yung value niya nakabase sa ibang parts ng circuit mo. And for the first case, nakadepende siya sa source mo, which is VI. And nice enough, nakakabit yung puwet nito sa ground. Okay, so may ground ka dito. 0 lahat ng voltage dito sa ilalim. Okay. Then, solve natin. Mag KCL ako at node na may V0, V0. So, that gives me VI minus V0 layo ko na pala sa scratch ko. And then, divided by RP. Makes sense naman, di ba? Ay, hindi ako nag-denote ng Hindi ako nag-denote ng directions. Okay. Okay. Okay na, no? Kompleto na. Okay, so yan. And then, in another incoming would be I, 0. And another outgoing. So, outgoing will be this branch. So, V0 minus the ground divided by RL. Okay? Anong pinapahanap sa atin? Di ba? V0. Yan. Wala pala pinapahanap sa atin. Hanapin lang natin. Okay, V0 yung hanapin natin kasi given naman yung iba. Then I0, I just plug in kung ano yung dependence niya. So for the first case, IO is negative GM VI. VI minus V0. RP. This is GM VI V0 RL. Okay, alam na natin lahat. VI, GM, RP, RL, VI. What's left to do is isolate V0. Sir, ano po ibig sabihin ng subscript sa resistors? Notation lang, yes? Notation lang. Pangalan lang nila. Hindi ko rin alam bakit nyo na lang R1, R2, R3. Ayan. Meron akong issue sa notation nung nagsusulat ng libro. Hindi ko alam kung saan niya hinuhugot yung motivation niya. Okay, so you isolate this the V0 by multiplying RL and RP, and you're left with this. So dapat denominator mo RL is RP, and then okay, meron kang RL VI sa labas, 1 minus GM RP. Okay. Kaya no, mental lang yan. Ito, four factors to, GMVI, RP, tsaka RL. Tapos factor out mo lang VI and RL kasi may VI ka rin dito. And RL. Okay, so yan. That's the first case. Nasolve na natin yung first case. Let's try the other one. The other one is I0 minus beta II. Ilagay lang natin. I0 must be negative beta II. Pinaliktad ko yung notation. Ayoko nung pangit na notation. Sir, lagi pong may V sub I na given sa circuit. Dapat may given na voltage. Ito kasi given to. Kita mo naman siya na given siya. Okay. What do I do from here? I could easily get II. Negative beta. Ano yung II? Ito yung II, di ba? And you know that this is ground, so 0. VI minus 0 divided by R1, Ri. So V1 minus 0 R. Okay? Paano po kapag dalawa, sir, yung voltage source? Eh di dalawa. Nag-try naman na tayo ng dalawa. We just follow things. Hindi ko gets yung tanong, sorry. Hindi ko gets yung tanong. You could, if you could ask the question more precisely for me, that would be better. Okay, so ito ay I0. And then, similarly, I could do this KCL on node V0. On that node there. And I just replace this, yung I0 ko. So, therefore, I have VI minus V0 or, copying ko lang to copying ko lang, RP. Walang bago. And then, I just plug in kung ano yung meron ako. which is this new thing. And then the right-hand side is still the same. Okay? And then you're done. Hanapin mo na lang si V0. Okay? Given naman yung mga resistors. Beta is given. Therefore, if you do this in your own time, you'd end up with this. Okay. Ang galing, no? Ang galing ng mga circuits para silang computer. You assemble them in such a way, nagbibigay sila ng solutions na ganito. Wala lang. Nice lang. Okay, so ito yung final answer dyan kung aayusin nyo. Kita na sa denominator na RP plus RL kasi yun, ayun. Ay, sorry, RI ito. Nagtataka ko bakit yung weird thing. Tapos, oo, tama, RI yan. Okay, that's it for this example. And lastly, ang last na topic natin ngayon is superposition. So, may superposition dito. Very nice. Okay. Basically, pag meron kang maraming source, 3 o 4 na source, what you can do is you can turn isa lang yung bubuksan mo tapos papatayin mo lahat. Okay, so kung may 4 ka, diba? Pwede mo patayin yung 3, tapos titingnan mo yung effect ng isa, then papatayin mo na siya, bubukas mo naman isa, okay? And so on and so forth. Okay, so nasa libro nyo, ito yung niya, yung steps niya, baby steps. Ayan. Kapag pinatay mo yung voltage source, ang gagawin mo sa kanya, papalitan mo siya ng wire. Okay, so re-replace mo siya ng short circuit. So kapag meron kang V plus minus, if you turn this off, magiging wire siya. Okay? And then kapag meron kang current source, ang mangyayari sa kanya, babaklasin mo siya. So putol yung circuit mo. Babaklasin mo siya. Okay? Kasi kailangan mo siyang i-replace ng open circuit. Again, pag voltage, gagawing wire. Kapag current, babaklasin mo. And then you solve that resulting circuit, and then uulitin mo. Ulitin mo ng ulitin. And then ang mangyayari sa dulo is add mo yung individual responses nila, which is yung voltage or yung current na makukuha mo. Okay, so let's try. Alam natin from kanina, this is 5.5 volts. Okay. Let's try to solve it by superposition. Pag pinatay ko si 6, magiging wire na lang siya. Therefore, ang bagong itsura ng circuit ko would be like this. Tapos, ginawa ko siyang wire. Okay? Then, this is your ground. So, inikot ko lang yung binago ko lang yung drawing ng system natin. Tapos, ito yung V0 mo. Okay? And this is easy. 1 kilo ohm, 1 kilo ohm. Parehas yung resistor. Okay, divided by 2 lang yan. So, V0, 1 is 2.5. Okay, 2.5 volts. The current is I01. The current is 5 divided by 2, 2.5 din. Amperes. Oops, hindi. Milliamperes. Okay, ito yung sinasabi kong be careful. Kasi naka 1,000 sila. Muntikan na ako dun. Ako pa yung nadali. Next, I would turn off the 5-volt source. What happens is that ang matitira would look the same like that, pero nakabaliktad. Okay? Ay, baliktad pala yung pagkakagawa ko. Sige, ulitin natin. Okay, so plus may dadaanan siyang resistor, 1 kilo ohm. Tapos, ito yung node voltage mo. Resistor again. Then, dito, yung binaklas ko. Okay, and then ground. Okay. Okay. So, anong direction pala nung current natin dito? Paganan. Okay? Ay. 1. Next, solving this 1K. What happens here is that same pa rin, V0. Voltage divider, parehas yung tawag dito. Parehas yung resistors, therefore, mangyayari ay, ito ay 6. Yung V02, okay, that would be 3 volts, okay? And then the current ay 02. Okay, ano yung direction ng current niyan? Pag ganun. I02 is just 6 divided by 2. So that's 3 pero kilo yung gamit. So 3 milliampere. Next, superposition na tayo. Ano yung response, total response? That would be V. Tapos V01, V0, V02. Okay? And that is 2.5 plus 3. So that's 5.5 as we have solved earlier. Okay? Amazing, di ba? And then the current at those points would be opposing sila. Tingnan nyo. Be careful lang sa pag-add ng mga current. Opposing sila ng direction. Therefore, magma-minus yan. Ang resulting ay 0.5 milliamperes. Okay, in the direction of this guy. Okay, so pag ganun yung direction. 0.5 milliamperes. Okay, so 3 minus 2.5 lang yun. Okay, nice, no? Let's try another example. Applicable naman to sa lahat. Yung ganito. Pero pag may dependent source, yan, may pag-uusapan tayo, dependent sources. Superposition for dependent sources. Okay? Okay, so, eto, try natin solve to another one. Patayin naman natin si current. Ito yung fun. Pag pinatay mo yung current, mababaklas siya, tapos mawawala yung buong branch nung circuit. So, wala kayong susolve dun. Which is fun. Okay, turn off 1A. Okay. So, pag tinurn off ko siya, ang mangyayari ay, this is 1. Ito na lang yung matitira. Ito na lang yung circuit mo. 2, 2. Okay? So, yun nandito, mabaklas mo siya. Walang dadaloy na current dyan, kaya tatanggalin mo na lang siya. Okay? Walang dadaloy na current dyan kasi tool nga, di ba? And walang displacement current dito, guys. Okay? Walang ganun dito. Kasi nasa lump circuit abstraction natin sila na bawal ka mag-produce ng mga magnetic fields outside your elements. Okay, so we're left with this and we're finding E. Therefore, E is simply 0.5. Okay, safe kasi naka-ohms lang naman. Gets bakit 0.5? Voltage divider lang to na parehas yung resistor. Therefore, mag 1/2 lang yung source mo. Next, turn off naman natin si ano. So, pangalanan natin to ng E1. Para naman may distinction. Turn off natin si 1 volt source. Therefore, we're left with, papalitan mo lang to ng wire. So, gawin natin mas mo. So, wire na lang dito. Resistor. Source. Now, ilan yung source? 1 ampere. So, 1 ampere, 2 ohms. 2 ohms lahat. Okay. Okay, so hanapin mo si E. Therefore, I would KCL there. So, KCL there is, incoming ko lang ay yung 1. Tapos, E minus 0 over 2 plus E minus 0 over 2. Okay? Pero actually, yun na kailangan gawin to kasi intuitively, papasok si 1. Tapos, parehas yung dadaanan niyang resistor. Therefore, dapat equal lang ibibigay niya sa both lanes. Both branches. Okay? So, makakalahati lang yun. Makakalahati lang yung current. Pero mathematically, you want to do that. Here, so E 1/2 plus E 1/2. So, that's E. Okay? Solve natin si E. 2B 1. Okay? Therefore, I have solved E to be okay, makes sense naman na E2 is 1 kasi yung current dito, if we plug this in there, makukuha mo yung sinasabi ko na 1/2 siya. And 1/2 din dito yung current. Okay, makes sense naman yung sagot natin. Therefore, by superposition, you can have na E is E1 plus E2. And this is 0.5 plus 1. So that's 1.5 volts. Okay? Sa libro, mayroon siyang dalawang method na ginawa. So itong isang method na ginawa natin, we're solving for voltages. Pero you can do the other way around. You can solve the current here. Kasi current there, mas madali. Okay, there are 2 ways of solving things for that case. Okay, and then lastly, for dependent sources, kapag may tayo, yung superposition mo, ang mangyayari, hindi mo sila gagalawin. Okay? So, practical way to leave is to leave all the dependent sources in the circuit. Tapos, yung independent mo, ganun pa rin, pwede mo sila patay-patayin. Okay? Actually, pwede mo rin patayin yung dependent source, pero mas mahirap siya. So for now, what you can do is leave all the dependent sources in the circuit, and then Yung mapapatay-patayin mo lang would be your independent source. Okay? So let's try this very weird circuit right here. And we are tasked to find V0. Okay, so V0. Okay, tingnan mo muna. Ano ba si V0? Pwede mo siyang makuha kapag VA minus VB. Okay? Kasi VA yung node voltage dito, VB yung node voltage dito. Therefore, V0 plus minus would be subtracting those node voltages. Okay, and then hanapin mo yung ground as usual. Okay, ground is here. So lahat to ay 0 yung voltage. Okay? Lahat yun ay 0 voltage. Alright. Tapos, ang given na sources ay dalawa, V1 and V2, which have opposing magnitudes. So, VI for V1 and then negative VI for V2. Tapos, meron kang dalawang current na dependent source. May constant silang GM, whatever that is. And they're dependent on V1 and V2 respectively for I1 and I2. Okay, so you turn off for so maglagay tayo. Unahin natin for turn off V2. Okay, so turn off V2, what happens? I2 becomes 0. Okay? Kasi pag V2, pinatay mo, 0 voltage dito. So 0 din dapat to. Okay, so we do that. Ang mangyayari, wala ka nang titignan actually dito eh. Wala ka nang titignan dito. Titignan mo na lang is ito. Magki-KCL ako sa node A. KCL at A. So the one that's coming in must go out. So 0. Kasi 0 itong wire na to. Ground siya. Minus VA. Divided by RL. Notation lang ulit yan. RL. Wala siyang ano. And then that must be equal to, walang dadaloy dito ha. Walang dadaloy dito sa wire na to kasi putol nga siya. Walang dadaloy dyan. Therefore, one way lang yung current dito. And this must be equal to I1, which is GMV1. GMV1. Then, I've solved for VA. 1, lagyan natin ng 1. Kasi, nagsusuperposition tayo. V1 RL. Okay? And then, V0 must be V01 must be VA1 minus VB1, which is negative GM V1 RL minus 0 kasi wala ito. Turn off siya. So we have this. Then next would be turning off V1. Oh, okay, turn off mo si V1, what happens? Mamamatay naman si I1 and mabubuhay si I2. Okay? Okay. So, KCL again at B. Sa node B. One way pa rin. Madali pa rin buhay natin. One way. So, that is 0 minus VB2 over RL. RL, di ba? Okay, RL must be equal to GMV2. GMV2. But V2 is negative VI. Okay. Okay, I to guys. I to. Okay, I. GM, negative GM, VI. Okay, makes sense. Tapos, this is VB2. Can solve it directly. GM, VI, RL, then V02 would be VA2 minus VB2, 0, and this is negative GM VI RL. Therefore, the contribution, kapag pinagsama mo na sila by superposition, GM VI RL, GM VI RL, so negative 2 GM VI RL. Usually, nung undergrad ako, nagkakamali ako dahil hindi ko sila napagsasama sa dulo. So, be careful for that, no? Na makalimutan mo silang i-bring back together. Okay? Okay. So, yan, that ends our lesson for today. Next meeting, tuloy pa rin tayo sa mga other ways of solving things. Then, magpapaano ulit ako. Magpapasolve ako in class na may bonus again. Just like last time. May bonus na in-class solving. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Sir, may ibig sabihin ba yung negative sign sa voltage o wala naman, sir? What do you mean here? Sa V2? Ito ba? Sa V2 ba? Ah, okay. Pag ano ibig sabihin daw nitong final, sa final answer, na negative yung negative yung voltage mo. Pag negative yung voltage mo, ibig sabihin yung pag-denote mo ng terminal baliktad. Okay? So, in actual sense, ganito siya. Pero binaliktad nga natin, so ay sorry, nawala. Kaya naging negative yung sagot. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung node voltage sa VB. And we have seen that kasi positive yung VB mo. VB. Okay, yung G sub M, notation lang. Constant lang siya. Meron kasing ginagamit si author na ilang example sa libro nyo na gumagamit ng conductance. Hindi ko sila binibigay in class kasi wala ka naman wala ka namang element na conductor. Di ba may resistor? Wala kang conductor, di ba? Wala kang resistor ginagamit mo. So, weird siya. Merong example sa libro na gumagamit ng Kasi itong tingnan nyo yung GI actually conductance. Kasi di ba I is V over R? But if you don't want writing them down in fractions, you can just write them as G times V, where G is the conductance. Reciprocal lang na reciprocal lang na resistance. Kaya ito ay GV. Okay, ganun din sa previous example natin. May G din kanina, di ba? Okay, so that is conductance. G times V. So, ayun, ang point lang niya is to prevent writing down fractions. Okay, eto, good question. Sir, paano po pag tatlo yung source? So, papatayin mo yung dalawa. Dalawa yung papatayin mo. Papatayin mo lahat ng iba. Okay, good question, good question. Di pala ako nakapagbigay ng tatlong source, no? Okay, good question. Galing, galing. So, minsan kasi sa exam, 4 yung source. Papatay mo yung 3. Kasi yung bubuksan mo lang yung isa. Okay, very good. Good question. Bigyan kita ng bonus. Bigyan kita ng bonus. Okay guys, pag may sinasabi akong mali, sa tingin nyo sure kayong mali. Sabihin nyo sa akin may bonus kayo, okay? Correct nyo ako. Nung sa kahapon na experiment, mali pala yung binibigay ko na voltage divider equation. Nabaliktad ko. So, iba naman na figure out naman ng iba on their own. Pero kung sinabi nyo sa akin, may bonus kayo. Okay. Any more questions, guys? So, ayan, may mga ganyang pagkakamali. Kasi hindi ako mahilig mag-memorize ng ng equation. So, minsan namamali ako sa sinasabi ko pag memorize ko. My memory betrays me. Okay, kung wala man naman na. Sige, picture tayo. Record ako ng attendance. Para naman may bonus kayo. Okay. Smile, mga ma'am, sir. Yan, very good. Save ko lang.